Hello. Today we're going to talk about the warcry Barb. This is one of the most party-friendly creatures with insane buffs to your party, while also dealing a lot of physical damage and piercing enemy physical res. The main skill used for the warcry Barb is warcry, self-described as injures and stuns all nearby enemies. It can deal quite a lot of damage, and the playstyle will be very similar to a Nova Sorc. So for a lot of people coming from the Frost Nova guide, or from other Nova Sorcs like the Lightning Nova, this will feel very similar in playstyle, just with the added benefit of being really good for groups. While Frost Nova is not useless at groups, he doesn't bring a lot of usefulness to the team. This guy, every team wants somebody like this guy in their team. Okay, so with that said, let's talk a little bit about the Warcry Barb. Generally speaking, this is not a character you want to open with. Normally you'd level with something like, I don't know, like a Double Swing, Frenzy, Zerk. Some people level with Whirlwind after getting to level 30. So you can choose whatever you want. I personally didn't level him as a Warcry. Yeah, you get access to this skill pretty early. It just doesn't hit that hard without a lot of plus skills and a lot of skill points. So if you look at the skill real quick, you'll see that you get a lot of synergies for your damage on this skill, which is why I don't have a lot of points invested anywhere else. Usually people will put like a point into leap for movement. I have like my, my 4 passives for Iron Skin, Combat Reflexes, Increased Speed, and Natural Resistances, and a ton of points here. I have like 1 magic point in Find Potion, Find Item, and Grimward, just because they're useful for party members, and the rest all goes into the Shout, because every single Shout will buff Warcry. Let me show the planner, just so it's easier maybe to see. So yeah, you're a barbarian, and let's say you've done all your quests, and yeah, you're at like level 80. You finished like doing like bales and things with friends. You want to respec. You want to start maybe mapping or maybe farming alone. So usually you'll have 1 point in each of these like passives. They're just really good to have. You can put 2 points at the Iron Skin if you want for like the extra 1 PDR. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's fine if you just like grab it for the defense. And you can put point into Find Potion and Find Item. You don't have to. But the main skill you first wanna max out, especially if you're soloing, is Warcry. You max Warcry because it's your main skill. It's what you're using to damage your opponents. After that, you want to make sure you obviously have your battle commands. Battle command is super important, and that you have your battle cry. Grimward, again, something you will use with groups. With groups, this is super good. It helps like all of your party attack faster and way stronger. But yeah, up to you if you want to play with groups or not. So Warcry, that's your main skill. In addition, you want to max out your Battle Cry. Battle Cry will it will lower enemies' defense and will also lower their physical resistances. Lowering physical resistance is very, very important for Warcry because it's a physical-based Nova. So when you're casting this, it takes in your minus physical resistance, which will have to do with the gear that I'm using, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, you'll max Battle Cry and you'll max Battle Command because Battle Command gives you more skill points to everything. And then usually you'll max Battle Orders and you'll usually max Howl as well. It doesn't matter too much in what order you do it, but technically Howl gives more bonus damage than other shouts. So maxing it is usually the way to go. If you're a party man and you want to be like more beneficial to your team, you'll probably max Shout instead of maxing Howl and like lower your damage by a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit like I think it's like what 20. It's like 76% bonus. So I personally max Howl like this. I put points into these 3 guys, and I think the one last point I have I put into Shout. So this is kind of like how my thing is looking like. You can obviously prioritize different things. You can put like 1 less point here for 1 more PDR. You can like forgo these 3 and not care about them. Put like more points at the Shout. Everything is up to you depending on how you like to play it. Anyway, back to our guy here. As far as strength and dexterity, normally speaking, you'll just put points into strength as much as you need to wear your gear. I specifically have like a bit like strength heavy gear, but remember that one of the most important pieces of gear for the Warcry Barb is the Enigma, which will give you a ton of strength. This one just gives 61 strength, so like if I take this off, you'll see that like I only have 81 points into strength. I don't have any points into dexterity, I just get them from my gear. And the rest just goes into vitality, which you can see is really, really high on this guy. I do not have any lifer charms here or anything. I just have a lot of vitality, and that's why my health is so high. So yeah, that's what you need to know for attributes, what you need to know for skills. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about the gear. So the gear has like a few approaches. I'm not recommending my approach, but I will show it. So to talk about the approaches, let's talk about the breakpoints. For faster cast rate, Warcry is a casting ability essentially, so you will be using faster cast rate. And I think there are two options that you can go for when you're a Warcry Barb, and one of them is going for 105 FCR. That's what normally you do. You go from 105 and you maximize your damage with a lot plus skills. You can use items like Mang Song. You can use the Brimstone Rain that I'm using. You can use like two Grandfathers, because you can like use two of them, and they will give you +4 all skills and +6 to Warcry on top of it if you use the right ones. This is just like a random Grandfather to make an example of it. You can use like a Twilight Shield and a Grandfather's, and that's no problem. That will give you like some minus enemy physical resistances. You can use the Heart of the Oak rune word if you're still like early on. You just need some resistances, some faster cast rate. The Heart of the Oak is a really nice solve all kind of thing. You can use Tabex Glory. I think I had that open just to show what it is. I normally save one in my stash, but I think I may have given it to someone. So yeah, Tabex Glory, it's a set item. You can get it pretty early. It gives 40 faster cast rate, block rate, increased chance of blocking, tons of defense. You'll be really tanky with this. So if you're looking, especially if you're playing hardcore, Tabex Glory, really, really nice option that you can definitely use very well as a Warcry Barb. So all of these are an option. You can use Ondals. It's like a staff. I personally would always use Brimstone over Ondals, but like some people like it, and I'm not here to ruin anybody's day. There's a lot of weapon approaches that you can use. Here is like Mang Song, for example, with faster cast rate. And you can use all of them. Usually like 105 is the faster cast rate breakpoint that you want. If you are using a staff, like a two-handed staff, like Mang Song, like Brimstone, like Ondals, getting 200 is not out of the question. There's a lot of ways to do it. Normally you'll get like an Arax anyway, so you get like some faster cast rate there. If you got one with 10 faster cast rate slam, you can get pretty high. 30 FCR gloves, if you're going for 200, is very common. If you're not going for 200, using soul drainers for minus enemy physical resistance with faster cast rate is pretty good. You could use Mage Fist, of course, they're like very nice. You could use Dracula's Grasp if you want to get more life after each kill, or you can use Titan Grips if you're using a shield and you want to increase your chance to block. Titan's Grip are the new gloves, and I didn't prepare a pair of them because I have not used them yet this season. But they seem to be pretty good. I see a lot of people using them. For the helmet, the normal helmet that you'll be using is Cyclopean Roar, preferably with +1 to all skills. Some people like the Battle Cry on casting, some people prefer the Battle Cry on striking, and Battle Cry is of course the skill that we use to lower enemies' defense and physical resistances. Personally, I do not want Battle Cry on casting because it casts level 6 Battle Cry, and while it makes stuff a little faster, it casts a significantly worse Battle Cry. And since I usually played this character with groups, then I really prefer to cast my own Battle Cry. It's a lot stronger, so that's why I like the on striking Cyclopean, but everybody uses whatever they like. There's like justification for both. So yeah, that's like a normal helm that you'll be using. You could also use like one of these rare tiaras or circlets with 2 skills to barbarians, 20 faster cast rate, and a bunch of other adds on them. You can use a blue tiara or circlet that gives like 3 skills to Warcries and 20 faster cast rate. or not faster cast rate, you can slam for like free sockets or a +1 if you don't need the faster cast rate. Like, there's a lot of options for gear for Barbarian for sure. I'm using the Overlord's Helm. This is not something that you can normally get. This is like a Diablo clone unique drop. And this gives -10 to enemy physical resistance, which is why I'm using it. I think it's like kind of cool to use it alongside the Brimstone Rain to lower enemy physical resistance really low. So I'm just using it. It's kind of like a style point thing more than like an optimized thing. Cyclopean does really well, and it's pretty cheap to get as well. For armor, pretty much unsubstitutable, or however you want to say that. This is the most core part to your gear. This is the Enigma. It will let you teleport, and you have to teleport in order to clear efficiently with this guy, especially in solo. Like, teleporting is a must for you. It lets you reposition yourself, and in addition, it gives you a bunch of strength and magic find, so amazing armor overall. Arachnid's Mesh is your go-to belt anyway, because it gives +1 all skills. It's the only one that does it, so that's the belt you'd want to be using. Otherwise, you'd probably use like a rare belt with PDR, faster cast rate, and res, but this is kind of like what you want to be using. For rings, plus skill rings are usually the go-to. Otherwise, faster cast rate rings with life after each kill, or mana after each kill, whatever you need from them, are pretty common. You can also use faster caster with a lot of res if you need res, but normally this build doesn't actually struggle with res too much. You'll see that I don't have res on my gear almost at all, but I'm still like doing kind of okay. Like, I have fire res for my Brimstone, but still doing kind of okay. For boots, I'm using Ethereal Staff. Again, part of the style points with the Overlord's Helm. It's a declone item, but the normal boots you'll be using are Silk Weaves. You can technically use, I forget their name, Gorefoots, the boots that let you leap better. If you are leaping a lot, that's like fine. And you can also use Marowaks if you need, like, cannot be frozen. That's like a fine choice. There's nothing wrong with it. If you need CBF somewhere, might as well get on the boots. But Silkweave are like the normal choice because they give you a lot of mana per kill. And they kind of let you keep your mana up without like having to worry about it too much. For amulet, I'm using a crafted caster amulet that was made to me by big sister, Beweaver. This is an amazing amulet. 2 to all skills, 2 to barbarian skills, 20 faster cast rate. Pretty much everything that I wanted to close out this 200 faster cast rate barbarian. Normally, it's much better to just use like one of these blue amulets with like free to warcries. If you slander for +1s, that's like an amazing amulet for you. You can also use blood amulets with life after each kill. But if you're trying for that 200 FCR breakpoint, then yeah, faster cast rate, like caster craft is like what you want to go for. Okay, so that's kind of like the gear. On the Switch, I just have a Mangsong to buff my bow, pretty much. You can have better buff items, technically. You'll see that like if I switch, it's like at 50. And this is 49, so it doesn't really matter too much. My Brimstone is a +1 slam and socket it for free with the box. Wish it was 4, but it is what it is. The reason I use Brimstone over the Mangsong, like you can see that like Mangsong is like a little bit more damage because 1 more skill. You can technically get 7 skill Mangsong if you want. That's also really nice. But the damage difference is not big, but the minus enemy physical resistance is actually pretty nice. So something attacked me. That was pretty weird. Not cool, guys. So yeah, the Brimstone is really cool for that. If you are using the Mangsong, you also have the option to use like a 6-socketed one, which lets you jewel more stuff into it. Maybe a bit more comfortable with life and mana after each kill. Maybe you can put some ists in. So yeah, there's all sorts of reasons to use different items. Brimstone and Mangsong, in my opinion, are the best if you're aiming for 200 FCR. And if you're going for 105, then you can use Brimstone. You can use the Grandfathers. They're all good, honestly. The Heart of the Oak. There's a lot of ways to make this build work really well. All right, let's talk a little bit about charms. Charms, I'm using faster run walk and faster hit recovery. Grand charms. You can use lifers. Honestly, all the charms for warcries are really cheap, especially early in the season. People get rid of them really fast. So I think I got most of these for like an ist or less for most of these. So I'm just using these charms. I'm using the FHR ones to hit 86 FHR. 48 is more than enough. I just happen to have FHR on my gear, so I was like, okay, I guess like I'm close to 86. I'll just get to 86. 40 is the thing I think I should aim for, like on most warcry barbarians. 27 is still okay. I think early on I just mapped with 27 and I was fine. So all of them are okay. I'm on 86 just because that's the gear I have. But otherwise you're okay to go with less. And for charms, you'll see that I'm like a little bit overcapped. I'm only overcapped because I think I don't remember exactly why, but I think I was in a dungeon and I had like a lower res there, so I overcapped. But yeah, for small charms, you're mostly using like res small charms with faster hit recovery, MF, life, whatever you can find. The charms are very flexible because honestly, like this character gets so much res from the plus skills. With like 1 skill point, where's the passive? Yeah, this gives you so much res already that you're pretty much doing like okay for the most part. Yeah, these are the charms I chose. Of course, you have an Annie. I use a 2-skill Annie and a Hellfire Torch. I mean, you always use those. They're awesome. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Merc. Merc, I'm using an Innocent Ferocities, like a repeating thing with me. I really enjoy this kind of like teleporting into a group and like being safe vibe. I'm using the Act 2 Defiance Merc for the PDR. The only PDR you have on this build otherwise is from the Enigma. Unless, again, you're using the 105 breakpoint, in which case you can put like a PDR belt, or you can put like some PDR, I guess, on your slams because you're a bit more flexible. But it gives you a lot of defense, a lot of PDR that is like very desired. And also I'm using a Reaper Stole with 5 sockets, mostly so he can get to like a higher breakpoint, attack faster, be a bit more useful. He does quite a bit of damage, if I'm being honest. He's not bad because remember, you're lowering enemies like physical resistances, so his damage also is kind of like amplified by that. He will cast Amp for me. Another amazing Merc is the Act 4 Dark Merc. You can use the Act 4 Dark Merc with like all sorts of staffs. You can use it with also like a Brimstone if you want. With an Ondals, you can use it with a lot of options. You can just put like Nice Set on him just to have him very beefy with you. A lot of options honestly for the Act 4 Merc. You mostly will be using him as an amp stick, pretty much. So he casts Amp for you. I like the Act 2 Merc more. I tried both of them already. Act 4 Merc is like nicer, kind of like in dungeons. If you want to solo a dungeon and you want like amp on demand, and you just want like them to always be amped, so you can always break immunities, you can technically do it solo. It is very slow, so I don't recommend it, but it is technically doable. Alrighty then, let's kind of hop in and do a map real quick. I'll show like a tier 1, I'll show like a tier 3. I don't think I'll show the cows. I don't know why. I have all these like rolled. But let's show this first. So first we buff with our Merc song, and I have of course teleport from the Enigma. So the way it looks like, you can either teleport and do a few war cries. You can see it kind of looks like the Nova as well, or you can do like the battle cry first to lower enemy resistance, and you can see like things like drop really fast. Now something that's really important here, I'll trigger this thing. Something that's really important is to make sure that you're managing your blinks from the Enigma well. You don't want to be spamming teleport like pop 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 like this. You have a few teleports, so you're not looking to teleport everything. So if you can see, you can get to a group by just like walking shortly, like this. So that's probably more efficient in the long run, because it will keep your teleport charges and be able to. Here, I'll pick up stuff. I'm always told that I don't pick up important stuff. So yeah, you can do that. If you're using leap to move, that's fine. I personally like don't like to leap with this build too much. It feels like you're not gaining much by leveling leap, and you're losing free skill points, which I don't like doing. But yeah, it's just like a matter of taste, pretty much. I'd rather like reposition by like doing a few steps and right, like moving like this. And you can see that I'm not using potions or anything. You can technically lower your life after each kill. I think I'm on, yeah, 15 right now. Yeah, 15 is like not bad. You can definitely use more. I just ended up with that with my gear. And of course, I'm not trying to speed it up too much. We dropped the phase blade. That's kind of cool. A lightsaber. Lightsaber can stay on the ground. So yeah, I'm not trying to speed it up too much, but you can see like things drop pretty fast. Some things like, yeah, you need to get back to. A little weakness of this build is that you kill bosses a little bit slow. That's why I also like the Act 2 Merc. He helps you kind of deal with bosses. It's kind of like a similar weakness to a lot of Nova sorts as well. Like the bosses can take a little while if you don't have like another way to kind of like get them down. But yeah, overall, like very nice to play. It doesn't require too much. As you can see, I'm like not like even though it's like a Nova teleport kind of like, it seems like very clicky kind of build. You actually don't need to press that much. Like it's like teleport, hold the right click, teleport like battle cry, hold the right click. Like pretty simple, comfortable stuff. Generally speaking, in the beginning, you won't be farming maps. It's actually a lot more efficient to farm like Traven Call on this guy. He gets to Traven Call really fast before you have an Enigma, because of his like very fast run walk. So you can like get to Trav really fast, kill them real quick. They're not like a problem for you to kill. You kill them very efficiently. I never was like in a risk of dying or anything. So you get there, you kill them really fast, you farm a little bit, you can farm for gold, you can like hope to get like some facets or runes from them. Yeah, and you can repeat that for a while to make your wealth. Otherwise, like you can also farm things like Cheng at like I forget the name of the waypoint now. Probably because I'm screaming rah 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 repeatedly. There we go. So yeah, these are like common ways to like farm early on, but this guy really works well in groups, even if small groups early on, just because of how much he buffs like the team. If you can find like any summoner to duo with, they would be really grateful for your existence, like a druid summoner or a necro summoner. If you do find a necro, you can technically go into dungeons. But you should build yourself a little bit before you do that, so you don't die. But you can like basically hop in a dungeon, go in, lower like resistances, the necro amps, the summons like kill. You can even add like a physical boson to kind of like do the heavy lifting in terms of damage. Was this like this was a key event with no keys? Damn. They save the best stuff for whenever I record. They're just testing my awareness to whatever's happening. Okay, now you can see the boss, like it's not like it's like hard to kill him, it just takes like a moment pretty much. If you don't have the Act 2 Merc, it takes a little bit longer, but yeah, it's really no struggle on this build. So overall, the build is not like very expensive to make. The Enigma is like the main thing for you to get you going. You don't spend a lot on charms, which for a lot of people is a big problem. A lot of the gear is like very common, not the gear that I'm using. A lot of the gear that you actually use, like Tabex is really cheap, it's common. You can get like the Grandfather is just like a badly slammed one, especially if you find one with faster cast rate or minus requirements. They're usually discarded for pretty cheap. So you can get something like that, or you can just make a Hodo, cost you a Vex. So like that plus the Enigma kind of gets you going. The rest of the gear, just like you can start with like any bad rocks, any bad like 10 FCR, res rings, any crafted blood amulet, and like a mage fist or a drainers or a Drax, silk weaves. will do you pretty good. Just want to show him in tier 3 just to make sure everybody knows that he's capable of doing, obviously, any map that he wants. Yeah, normally I'm here because I'm farming Trav. But yeah, let me open the throne. So yeah, hopefully you can teleport into positions where your Merc will keep you safe. And you're kind of hoping for maps that are very dense. This is not a build that runs fortified maps or anything, because the amount of kills you do really do keep you alive. But you can see I can hop into very like crowded areas, and I don't feel very like, you know, threatened or anything. I feel like relatively very safe. Having like a little bit more life after each kill could be kind of cute. Rune Staff is Skull Collector, right? Yeah, okay, we got free Skull Collector. Let's see what we slam it with. Maybe we get something cool for the recording. We get minus to poison resistance. This is not amazing for a Skull Collector, sadly. So we didn't get that like one recording slam. Yeah, something that I recommend is like if you see like a couple of big roofs, try to teleport in between them. Kind of like make sure you're getting everything with your battle cry. You don't really want to cast battle cry more than once. Like I'll try to teleport a little bit ahead of whatever I see. Like a might gang here. And if you prefer full clearing, that's like fine. Personally, with a build that is like Nova builds and yeah, the warcry build, like I don't really bother with full clearing too much. You're a lot more effective when you're like clearing the big groups rather than clearing the small like remaining kills that you missed. So I personally don't worry about it too much. If I leave like 1 or 2 kills like around, like I'd much prefer just like hop on to the next pack. Indigo. When you are focusing a boss, make sure to have your amp up, but also make sure that you're targeting him with your mouse. If you have Brimstone, it will land the meteors on him. Okay, he's like actually trying to annoy us a little bit with this little bit of running he's doing here. Yeah, so that's what I meant when I said, oh wait, my Merc's dead. Let me grab him real quick. Our Merc's really important to us. But I'm obviously not paying enough attention to Gulzar, my hero. Let's buff you again. Alright, Gulzar, stay alive. Okay. Yeah, that's why I meant with like bosses can take a little bit sometimes. This is how it looks like when you're moving like a little bit faster. I'm not sure what I rolled on this map, but I feel like I'm drinking more potions than I usually do. Let's pick up a few more. I don't really look what I rolled for it, honestly. If I'll be okay. Yeah. Nice benefit of this build, it can run a lot of different maps just by virtue of being that physical build and being able to break physical resistances. Like in all the tier 3 maps, like you'll be fine. You can run any tier 3 map that you want. I normally just like to run cows on this guy just because running cows is fun, but anything with like super high density is like pretty good for you. I try to avoid places like Cistern, just because of the Doom casters that take away your mana. Can be a little bit annoying. So I'm not a big fan of Cistern on this guy. Also killing like the Hydra there is like pretty annoying. But you can do any map that you want, honestly. It's like he doesn't really have any problem dealing with anything. I don't need Sigils of Korlik. Something that I'm not sure about, I wonder if it has to do with my ping or with my timing. Sometimes I will try to teleport while I still have like, what's it called? I'll still have charges. You have to make sure that you let go of your warcry. Like if I spam warcry and I do like teleport, sometimes it just wouldn't come out, even if you have the charge to do it. So I usually like let go of my warcry and then do like the thing. But it could just be like something that has to do with my ping. I'm not sure if it's like a FCR thing or if it's a ping thing, so keep that in mind. This is the only reason I let go of the warcry. Technically you should be able to just like teleport in between. Yeah, this was like a tier 3 map. We're in the game for 7 minutes. We did go to town to revive our guy, but that didn't take long. So about like 7 minutes to do this map, which is not long for a tier 3. Again, this doesn't maximize for damage necessarily. You could maybe optimize this for speed a little bit if you don't run like the stop points to run an FCR. But I just really wanted to run them. I thought it would be really cool, so that's why I went with this build. With that said, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about the Warcry build, you can drop them in the comments. There's obviously a lot of ways to make it, so I'm sure other people will have different ideas as to what's good or what's viable. But as you can see, 7-minute map solo is definitely fine in tier 3, and I think we did like 4 minute for the tier 1 while doing quite a bit of yapping. So overall, we're good. With that said, I'll see you on the next video. Small spoiler, I'm starting today, the 25th of February 2025. I'm starting a journey to where no nerd has gone before. I'm going to start doing a solo self-found to tier 2 Rathma. At least as far as I know, nobody done this. Maybe somebody has done this and I just didn't find it. So if so, sorry for stealing your credit. But yeah, we're going to start doing this on the Twitch every day. I will upload like some progress. I don't know how much, so if you have like strong opinions on how much of that you want to see, or maybe you want to see more guides, feel free to drop that also in the comments there, or tell me on my Twitch. I'm kind of with this 5th guide, I've shown all the characters that I've made this season. You'll see I have 5 ladder characters: my Warcry Barb, my Maul guide that also was my Fireclaw guide, that also used for Fury. I got my Fire Druid, my Frozen Novasork, and my Paladin that I showed also last week. So these are kind of like the characters I made this season. And I have like characters in non-ladder if somebody wants to see them and how they work. Like, I wouldn't mind showing them. I think like some of them are really cool. So if you want to see like guides from season 9 that they were made this season 9, most of them are not too changed. I can do that, or if you'd rather see more content from my live progress in my SSF, I'd love to know your opinions on that. If you don't mind just saying. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, whatever it may be. Till then, have a good whatever you're having, and bye 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 bye.